Backstage with Mothership on Solid Rock Radio begins now. Hear the best in new music, artist interviews, stories from the road, and more. You are now backstage, and here's your host, Mothership.
Hey everybody, this week I have something different for you. Do you like science fiction, fantasy, electronic rock music? Well, the new project from TheoTerran might be for you. From the new project, TheoTerran, I have David Pataconi and Monica Soe. I've interviewed David before, but Monica, I haven't had a chance to get to know you, so we're going to start with you first.
We kind of met at KCF.
Just briefly, yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't really get to talk a lot, so...
Yeah. Just a footnote, in case you hear traffic noise, Monica is actually in a car with her husband traveling to Indiana. You're moving right now?
Yeah, my husband Jake got a job at Sweetwater.
That's a music place, right?
Yeah, so we're moving to Indiana.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's cool. The only thing I'm dreading is the fact that it's actually really cold in the winter, because I'm not a winter person.
Yeah.
But it's going to be cool because we're going to be around a lot of friends and everybody feels like family. And then we have KCF right there.
Wow, what more could you want?
Right?
Yeah.
And the label's based out of there, so it used to be next to a lot of people on the label, so it's really good.
What a great move. Yeah. Where did you grow up?
Mostly Arkansas. I was born in California. Yeah, I've lived kind of in a lot of states. I lived in South Carolina for a little bit, but then mostly Arkansas.
When did you start getting into music?
Well, my mom always had music and stuff on my whole life. She would sing and dance with me and stuff when I was little, but I didn't get into it really. I didn't get the need for it until I was 10. And so when I was 10, I got really interested in singing. And around then is when actually the Evanescence's album came out. And I really liked her voice. So she kind of inspired me to sing more. And then I liked singing in church. And and then I just took piano lessons as well when I was 10. And it just kind of went from there.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you played any instruments. So piano?
I'm really rusty at it. But I guess I know enough. I can read the sheet music and stuff.
What's something that people would be surprised to know about you?
I guess maybe the fact that I'm a nerd. I like Lord of the Rings and video games and stuff like that. I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
I was an archaeologist for a year.
Wow.
So maybe so that's maybe different.
That is different. Why are you not an archaeologist now?
They try to force you to accept evolution. They kind of shove that down your throat. And then on top of that, and I was pretty much the only Christian there. And it was really difficult because, nobody shares the same views as me, and I'm basically I was living with these people for 2 months on a dig. Sometimes you live with them for however long the dig is. It could be years. And it's they don't share the same beliefs. And then I was always wanting to go to sleep right after I got back to the dorm, and they were staying up all night partying, and it was just really difficult because I liked the sciencey part. I liked discovering things about ancient people and stuff. And it's cool because I wanted to get into some of the biblical archaeology and discover, okay, so we read about it, in the Bible, and we know that it happened, but I want to go out and I wanted to go see it for myself, and I thought that would be really cool, but it's just really difficult and really, really expensive to get into. And then I felt like God was just kind of saying, no, I want you to do music. Stop getting away from music. You're a singer. This is what I want for you. Yeah. So I feel at the same time, God kind of pulled me away from it as well.
Yeah. Expectation versus reality, right?
Yeah.
Would you say that you left because you stopped digging it?
No. Here comes the dad jokes. You didn't turn your head.
I've been waiting for that. I'm just listening, quietly. I'm just waiting for the right opportunity.
Just oozed out of him. He couldn't help it.
Did you stop digging?
Oh, there he is. He turned his head right now.
All right, so I have Monica Soe and David Pataconi are teaming up together for something that is out of this world. Tell us about it, Dave.
Well, it all started on a spaceship. Oh, no. It's not really that out of this world. No.
No.
We with TheoTerran take ourselves really seriously, obviously. It all started, we become friends on Facebook, and I had been working on a song called Captivate My Heart, and I'd asked Monica if she'd be interested in singing on it. And so she said she'd listen to it, and I sent it to her, and she liked it, and we ended up, working together on that. And that's been a really good song. A lot of people enjoyed it. And so last year at KCF, Kingdom Come Festival in Indiana, we actually performed the song live in front of the crowd. And that was really cool because actually that was the first time we met in person. So yeah, it was really cool to hang out for a week and, do the song. And then afterwards, I had a song that I was working on and shared it with Monica as we've been talking and stuff. And she's like, "Ooh, this is really awesome. Can I sing on it?" I was like, I was going to ask you if you wanted to. So, and that's kind of the first song we did with TheoTerran. So with TheoTerran, it's more than just a musical project. It's more than just a band. As we've been kind of writing the songs and getting everything kind of set up, God really opened up a lot more opportunities and ideas and stuff. And so TheoTerran is two words. It's Theo meaning God, and Terran is a science fiction term for either the people of Earth or relating to people of Earth. And so the actual name means God relating to people of Earth. So it's a little science fiction-y and all that stuff, but it's kind of got that kind of element with it. But we basically have like a backstory, and we're working with our fans, and we've invited them to help write the story with us. And so basically, like, we have a few main characters in the story. My name is Enoch, Monica is Eos, and her husband is Halvor. Our stuff takes place on an alternate timeline. So it's 2020 when it starts, but in a different timeline. And so 2020 across all the timelines, according to us, was not a fun year. Ours didn't have the pandemic. Ours, basically, we had a lab owned by Silas Altair, and they basically developed a thing called the upgrade. And in that, you implant it either on your hand or your forehead. And it basically, once you implant it, it makes you immune to 5 different types of cancers, the common cold and the flu. And as the science progresses, it can download via like a network additional immunities and things like that. You can also like boost your metabolism, lose weight, all this kind of stuff. And they go through a corporation called Union City Corporation that basically they distribute it across the world. They do it for absolutely free. And so as they're doing that, a lot of smaller countries end up like saying, "Hey, you're doing some really good humanitarian work, and our government is not any good to us. And so if you want to go ahead and take over." And so they one by one start taking over these governments, give control of these countries and everything like that. And so my character happens to work at the lab, and I overhear a conversation that I wasn't supposed to, where they're talking about weaponizing the upgrade. And so I have a few friends that I work with, like one's a chemist, one's a mechanic or machinist, one's like a architect. And so I let them know what's going on, and I let Monica, who's my sister in the story, and her husband, Halvor, know what's going on. And so basically we find this city in Norway called TheoTerra. TheoTerra, it is self-sustaining. There's no grid. It's just basically they have their own water, electricity, all that stuff. And so we end up building a artificial mountain on top of it over a 3-year period. And so it's in a valley, so it looks like when we're done that just the mountain exists there and everything. And essentially we build over the city so it's undetectable. And we also build like an underground pathways and things like that you can kind of enter and exit without being seen. And so in the meantime, Union City is starting to take control. Silas Altair actually becomes the CEO of Union City Corporation as well. So basically becomes the ruler of the world. And we finish the mountain. We all move there. But before I leave, I actually erase all of the GPS photography of TheoTerra that showed it before the mountain was there, replace it with the mountain. So it looks like it was always there. And so our mission in there is basically to get people free from the upgrade. And at this point in time, when we release the song, it's 2023. So it's kind of going along our timeline here. And we're trying to figure out how to uninstall the upgrade. It's on a network, a wireless network. And basically, if you try to uninstall it, they send a kill signal. But they tell everyone you might get sick or whatever and die. So we're trying to find a way to uninstall it for people and free them from that. So that's kind of the whole like science fiction backstory. And we kind of created all that. And then we basically have a thing set up on archiveofourown.org where people can actually go in there and actually write their story, create their own character, and write along with us. And the end goal is we want to have a cohesive story enough that we can include almost everything or everything, and then basically have a comic book made of it. So people can create their own character, create their own story, and then basically have something tangible to hold.
Wow.
Yes.
Backstage with Mothership returns after this. Outperformance Shop is a proud supporter of Solid Rock Radio. They specialize in retail and wholesale of automotive high-performance racing and off-road products. They also carry a variety of accessories from remote control cars to rock and roller multi-carts. On the web at outperformance.com.
So who came up with the idea of TheoTerran?
Well, that was between you, me, and
Jake.
And Jake, yeah, my husband Jake, he helped us write a lot of the storylines. So, yeah, we kind of just all three of us get together and we're like, okay, so this is what happens, and then this happens, and then
Yeah.
So how does the music and the story work together?
So that's where we tie it in. So some of the songs tie in with the story as we've written it, and some are just kind of offshoots. They're, stuff we've been through personally, or it's not a linear story to go along with it in the album. There's some parts of it that are in there, but it does tie together with the story.
Well, and some of the songs too are like a mixture of both. Like, there's a certain song that we have that I'm not going to say the name of it yet, but the song is basically about being saved. The lyrics kind of tie in the world of TheoTerra along with actual fact. It's kind of like a combination of the world of TheoTerra along with real life, along with biblical truth.
So where are you writing the story for TheoTerran?
So it's on archiveofourown.org, and people can create their own accounts. The only downside with the website is there's so many people that use it. They will send invites as a batch. So you could request an account, but they may take a few weeks or more. Once it's activated, then you can actually create your own character, create your own story, and then you tag it with the fan fiction title of TheoTerra. So if you go on there and you search for TheoTerra, it'll all be under that. So it's almost like its own fan fiction.
Yeah.
So my daughter actually has been a fan of that website. She's a fan of these Disney shows. They've been canceled by Disney. And so basically the fans kind of continue on the story in their own little way. And so she's the one who told me about that. I'm like, oh, that sounds really cool. And then it was like, oh, we could probably do that. So, yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. I give my daughter all the credit.
Yeah. I mean, you can expand that, just do all kinds of stuff with it.
Yeah.
So is Jake officially part of this?
Yes and no. So he's a character in it. So he's not a TheoTerran band member, but he's a TheoTerran character. And he's also a writer. And then he also will probably be helping us with front of house and stuff like that.
What kind of music can we expect from TheoTerran?
Kind of coined different terms for it, but essentially it's like a cinematic cyber electronic rock. Yeah, so there's really not anyone that sounds like us, and we all have we have a lot of different influences, so a lot of those kind of show up.
Think Nine Inch Nails mixed with David Pataconi, mixed with Evanescence, mixed with Lacuna Coil, mixed with who else?
It's also cinematic too, so it's got some of that film score kind of feel to some of the songs too.
Yeah, maybe Starset.
Maybe, yeah.
There's not really anyone that sounds like us.
But I would say if you're fans of Clayton from Circle of Dust, Android, Cell Dweller, Nine Inch Nails, Lacuna Coil, Evanescence, Hans Zimmer. I mean, really, those are all, you'd be fans of us too. So yeah.
All right, tell us something else that we need to know that's coming up.
So the next thing is we will be releasing our first single next month, which we're really excited about. But that's coming out. A lot of people are waiting. They're like, oh, where is it? Where's the music? And so we've been excited to release it, and a lot of people are chomping at the bit. So I would say mid to early next month it's coming out. However, we will actually go ahead and give you guys who are listening to Backstage with Mothership an exclusive sneak preview. So that'll be coming up here in a moment.
You got merch and stuff?
Yeah. So do you want to go ahead, Monica?
Yeah, we do have merch at TheoTerran.com. And then we also actually have some Amazon exclusives on Amazon, thanks to our friend from Rogue Design. We've got a t-shirt and a hoodie on there, and you can find the link. It's kind of a lengthy link because it's Amazon, but It's on our Facebook page. So what we can do is we can just pin the post that has those, if you want one, that shirt or that hoodie. So that way, people can go on there and find it through Amazon. But yeah, so either way, it just depends on what design you want, really. You can either go on TheoTerran.com, and there's plenty of merch that kind of leans into like the whole world. We've got merch for Union City. We've got merch for TheoTerran, and then we've got merch for Altair Labs, which was the lab that created the upgrade. So yeah, if you want any of that merch, that's just on TheoTerran.com.
And they can also find those links on the Solid Rock Radio blog page for this show.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Awesome.
Now, I know you guys are all about the message. Tell us a little bit about how you hope to reach out to people with the gospel through this ministry.
Obviously, with the whole backstory and everything, and the way that some of the music ties in, there's definite undertones of biblical prophecy we put in there. It's very purposeful, but it's also one of the things where we're not spelling it out for everybody, because we want to reach the secular audience as well that may not be aware of prophecy or salvation through Christ and all that. So part of it is having those undertones, having those stories, and getting people intrigued. And then we're pretty active on social media, and we want to interact with people on there as far as, if they have questions or, want to just chat, or one of the things I've been doing is praying with people, and so it's one of those things that people can reach out and be like, hey, I'm going through, whatever it is, and can you pray for me? And I like doing that. Recently posted on my own social media and just say, if you want prayer, let me know what to pray for. And so I actually individually, each person that commented, I reached out to them individually on Facebook Messenger and actually recorded praying and then send them the audio. And God really worked a lot with that. So I think that's one of the things, at least on my side, I'll continue doing that. Also, like the live shows and stuff, we want to interact with fans. We want to interact with people wherever they're at. Like I said, there's a lot of things, undertones in the message of our music and stuff, and things that are relatable too, that may not be directly tied into the storyline, but it's personal experiences and things like that. So, like I said, we want to encourage people to reach out to us and interact with us and be active on, our page or our pages.
Yeah, it's important to us to reach not only just other believers, but reach people that don't even know who Jesus is. People have had times in their lives, not everybody was born into a family that was Christian, and we want people to connect to us. David and I both are trying to just work on, what Jesus taught us. We're trying to be like him. If we only cater to other Christians, then we're not really fully doing, what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah, so we've got some songs in there and stuff that's going to be more relatable. That's going to be more we're going through these difficult times, or we've been through something that's difficult. We've got some darker tone songs, because it's look, we're not perfect. Just because we're Christian, we have the same struggles that everybody else has. We want people to connect, and part of the whole reason that we've created this entire world is because we're kind of science fictionally, is that a word?
It is now.
It is now.
Science fictionally telling the truth, but altered the scenery. If you end up getting into TheoTerran and stuff, it's you're actually learning, hey, this is stuff in the Bible, this is stuff that's happened or going to happen or whatever, but you may not know it. And then you find out later and you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm kind of deep into this now. This is kind of cool, At least we're hoping that, people get into learning more about the Bible, just because, we've kind of created this cool little world just based off of that.
I think the other thing to answer that with also is the whole writing aspect of it, where it's not just the music, it's also the fan fiction, interacting with fans that way, and because we're excited to read what people come up with too. It's not just hey, here's a story and go have fun. It's we want to write with people. We want to write, and read what they're going through. And I think it's another way that we can interact with people and share, encourage people and tell them the truth and tell them the gospel and everything. And then obviously, we're able to play live, we want to interact with our fans that way and things like that. I'm working on something for that.
Right.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
It can't be announced yet, but yeah.
That's the thing is how are you supposed to minister to somebody if you don't interact with them?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so with us trying to find all these ways of interacting, like we're trying to connect to people. We're trying to make people feel loved, you know, and we're trying to make people feel like they're important. Like we want to hear them too. We can't just minister to people by just saying, oh, here's Bible stuff, and then not listen to them and not interact with them, whether it's through like writing a story or just interacting on the page or praying for them or, you know, stuff like that.
Backstage with Mothership returns after this. Check us out on Facebook at I'm with Mothership.
Monica, give me a quick overview of your faith journey.
I don't know that there's a quick version of that. Okay. My mom, so she had 5 miscarriages before me. I don't know when she became a Christian. I don't remember what she told me or like what age she was. It was before I was born. I guess she had wanted kids and she kept having miscarriages. Well, then she had actually found out she was pregnant with me one day. She said she was walking on the beach praying and God would always give her like a sign by like giving her a rock in the shape of a heart or something. She had found one on the beach where it was like a heart shape with another heart shape cut out into it. And then I think she said it was about 3 months later she found out she was pregnant with me. And then she said when she had me, she prayed over me and she said, God, I give this child back to you. And then I guess for me, the best way to describe it was like, I've just loved Jesus ever since I was born, like really loved him. It's like, I just knew who he was. And my mom has told me so many stories of times where I've told her that I've seen angels and God has like spoken through me to her when she was like freaking out about something. So I guess like I've just loved Jesus ever since I can remember. Just like any normal person, I've had my ups and downs where it's like, you know, like there might be a time in my life where I'm not actively praying as much or just felt like, you know, I was just like kind of away from him, you know, but I never stopped loving him. I never stopped believing. I never stopped having faith. I've got like a really strong warrior spirit, you know, like the Holy Spirit in me has like this fire, right? That I feel like in my chest on and off in my life. Like sometimes I haven't felt it and then other times it's been stronger. And like recently I've actually been, for the past couple years when I was doing a CED stuff, I was just going through like one of those times in my life. I'm not going to say I wasn't strong in my faith or my belief or anything, because that's not true. I guess I just wasn't relying or talking to God as much as I should be. So recently in these past like 6-7 months, I've kind of like been getting stronger in that again, like stronger in my faith. And God's been doing just some crazy stuff in my life in the past few months that these things are just miracles that are just happening. And it's just because like I'm learning more and more, you know, as I get older and as time goes to just listen to him, and I'm learning how to listen to him. And like the thing for me is like, it's been really difficult to figure out like, okay, what does God actually sound like? You know, when he tells you something, it's like sometimes you know it's God and sometimes you're like, was that God or is that just a voice in my head? You know, I've been actually like recently learning how to listen to him and learning, you know, how to trust him and learning to just not have doubts and give him like everything that you have, you know, give him your all and give him like all of your faith, all of your hope, all of your love, like everything. And actually it's funny because, like with writing TheoTerran music, for example. So when I was writing a CED music, it was really difficult for me to write that music for some reason. And then I started doing TheoTerran and like the lyrics and stuff and the melodies are just flowing. We recently just wrote a song and it took us a day to write it. We actually had 2 in a row that happened like that. And it's like God's just giving me these lyrics and these melodies and stuff. I think it's because I'm just learning, you know, to listen to him. I'm learning to give him total control. That's, I guess, kind of my short version.
What about you, David?
I grew up in a Christian home. I prayed the prayer of salvation when I was 6. Like I understood it enough and everything, but like the 10 years after that, just everything kind of, I didn't surrender my life to God. And that was the thing, is praying the prayer is completely different than actually surrendering your life to the Lord. And so I ended up in juvie for a time, and that's where really where God got me. And so it was actually my 17th birthday. I was so hungry for God. And it was one of those things where it's like on my 17th birthday, there was these ladies that came in there and they're talking about, giving your life to the Lord and have a relationship with God. I was like, it was like a light bulb went off. Like, oh, that's what I've been missing. Even though I've been like hungry and like chasing after him that whole time. And so like on my 17th birthday, I was just like, yep, I'm in, all in, abandoning everything else. Like, God, you're everything. And by the time I got out, it was like all the guards and all that stuff. They're like, can you come back? I'm like, why? They're like, well, you're the poster child of what we're doing here. Like, this is exactly what we want all the kids to do. And I was like, I literally just gave my life to the Lord. I surrendered to him, and he worked through it all. And I got forgiveness from the people I hurt directly, indirectly, able to forgive myself. Like, I came out of there and I was not the same person as when I went in, and he radically transformed who I was, from the core. And, in life, you have ups and downs, and I struggle with like depression and anxiety and stuff, and I think a lot of people do. And even in that, like, he's gracious, and even in that, like, he helps me get out of that mindset. And I have a lot of people that God's put in my life to speak life into me and encourage me and things like that. And God's blessed me with my family, my wife and kids, and friends like Monica and Jake, and the label I'm with, AD Windblown Media Records. It's a tongue twister. But, Ash, Josiah, Wade, just everyone on there, they're family to me. And even signing to them is just like God just ordained all that. And it's just been it's been a lot of just growth. God's just worked through it, and even with the music, I mean, I started writing music back in I think 2007 or 2009. Like, I didn't know a thing about it. I just had a melody or a beat in my head, and it was kind of like I started somewhere, and, God's progressed it over time. And, of course, I'm practicing all the time and doing everything, but God's used it, and he's using it to reach people. And I love doing music, but I love the ministry more, and it's one of those things, like, God's given me at least a small platform that I can interact with people and use the gifts that God's given me of exhortation, of, faith and healing and prayer and music, but so yeah, it's been a long journey. I've seen God do too much in my life that it's like I could never go back, and I never want to, and he is just literally the best thing that's ever happened in my life. And I want everyone to meet their best friend that they may not know, and introduce them. And so that's kind of my goal with all this.
Amen.
Oh, you're also up for a Grizzly Award for your solo project.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked. I did not expect that. And I was just very, very grateful and thankful. And it's humbling.
Really proud of you. When I saw your name on there, I was like, ah!
Well, it's funny because I was voting on there. I didn't know. Like, I was just going through the list, and I was like, wait, what? My name's on there. I had no idea.
Big question. Did you vote for yourself?
Okay. In all honesty, every other time in my life, I voted for someone else. This time I did vote for myself, because I'm like, I can't be like, well, so yes, I voted for myself, but I voted for other people, that I think deserve what they're on there for, so.
I might be prejudiced because I love all you guys, but I think everybody that's on there could get it.
Right.
In all of those categories. I mean, everybody's a winner. And that's the whole thing, is it's mainly saying, you know what, we see you guys and we appreciate you.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I'm glad that they started that, because I really liked it. Like, I really liked seeing people get recognition on there, and even if they didn't win, even though they're nominated or whatever, they still win because they're still on there, like you said.
Yeah,
exactly.
Mm-hmm. Really love like I noticed at KCF, it's like everybody's just a big family,
right?
And I love that, because when I went there, I had never felt more like family. And I stayed with Ash and his wife, and man, I felt like I was at home. I had never felt like that. Not even at my actual home. So, like, it's really cool how, everybody that, that we all mutually know, and, like, everyone's just a big family, and it's fun. Like, it's awesome.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I love about the Christian rock and metal genres. You guys are quick to jump on board and fill in at any given moment. You need a bass player? Somebody volunteers. I love it. Not something you see as much outside of our little world.
That's what we do in our label. I mean, like
your label, you're all about that.
Yeah, we all feature each other, not just, on the song, but like actually in person too. Like, I don't have a backing band for my stuff. It's like, I show up, it's just me, and then everyone else kind of like, all right, we got a band, which is really fun.
It's cool because it's like that with TheoTerran too. Like, everyone on the label just volunteers. They're like, oh, I want to do this, and we're just like, okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
I enjoyed fellowshipping.
Likewise.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for having us.
Well, we'll see you guys out there on the road.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Stay tuned for more great music and check out my blog page on the Solid Rock Radio website for my guests' social media links. If you've missed any of my past interviews, you can find them uploaded to podcast.solidrockradio.org. Have a wonderful week, and let's be kind to one another.